من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I greet you, my brothers and sisters, with a noble and universal greeting of peace, the greeting that has been used by the prophets and messengers of our universal creator, Almighty Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukr to Allah that we are here, alive, healthy, that we have a mind that we can comprehend, that we can desire to gather together for truth, and shukr to Allah for guiding us. And guidance is really, for me, the most precious belonging that we can have in this world. Guidance. I value guidance. I appreciate guidance. Guidance is what I require. I do really have required guidance more in the past. And not to say that I don't require guidance now, but I'm grateful for the guidance that has brought me to a place of security, that has brought me to a place of Iman, and that I can continue to apply myself in expanding my Iman, and that the guidance that has brought me to Amal, and to the degree that I am into Amal, and that I can expand myself in Amal, that I can be with my Creator in a way that actually benefits me to be with my Creator and receive from my Creator, that I can be with me, my body, my life, and be respectful of me, my body, and my life. Look at areas of my life that there's favors for me to be and become in these areas, and have people, things, and experiences in those areas, that I can have a life tayyibun, when it comes to my body and health, or when it comes to my work and quality of work that I do, or finances, or whether it is relationships with other people, that I can live a life that is tayyibun. The Quran says whether you're a male or female, if you have Iman in your heart, if you have your relationship with your Creator, and if you have that relationship with you, your body, your life, your afterlife, if you operate in a way that is beneficial to you, if you have good humanity in you, if you conduct yourself in a way that is honorable, then whether you're a male or female, then there is for you the experience of security, selffulness, then it leads to satisfaction. You'll have satisfaction and a blissful return. And that's what I'm finding in my life. I'm finding in my life that I'm experiencing a peace more and more with every passing day. Salam within my being. This got nothing to do with anybody being different, or my life being different, or the world being different. I found out that through guidance you can experience peace now, regardless of yourself being the way you are, regardless of the way you behave, regardless of the way your life is, regardless of how other people in your life are, how they behave. Our peace has got nothing to do with the created world. Verily, in the remembrance of Allah, do hearts experience assurance. Our peace has got nothing to do with us and anybody in the created world. So, I am very grateful that I am aware and experiencing beyond my previous levels of unawareness of truth, and my previous levels of non-experiencing of truth. So I am aware, more aware than I have been, and experiencing through that awareness this experience of peace, what I call spiritual well-being. Spiritual well-being is not because of you, it's not because of anybody, it's definitely not because of the guru and the pandit. It's because of your connection with your Creator. Verily, in the remembrance of Allah, hearts experience assurance. We are guided to our mission here. Our mission here is to remember Allah, to actually remember Allah. Not your ideas of what you think remembering Allah is, but to actually remember Allah. That when you remember Allah, your heart experiences assurance. My heart experiences assurance like it has never experienced it before. I don't know if you can see it on my face, but I feel very assured, and I feel very reassured, and I feel that my good in this world through my death and beyond is ensured. So I have remembered God through His guidance. I've claimed the guidance, I've valued the guidance, I've seen the benefit of the guidance. I don't value the guidance, a little bit. I value the guidance more than anything that I can possess in the world. You know what I mean? If you can have a car, a house, a person, whatever, money, Whatever your possessions are, if you possess guidance, if you have guidance and you value guidance, I value guidance more than any other thing that we can say has value to us in this world. Because guidance guides me out of the darkness into the light. It guides me out of unenlightenment, superstition, you understand, into enlightenment, beyond superstition. I can see when I once was superstitious and now I'm enlightened, I'm aware of truth. I was once in the darkness, now I'm in the light. I can see it. I can see the difference in me over the years as I've been receiving the guidance and experiencing the awareness and the expansion in awareness, the expansion in experiencing of peace, the expansion in the awareness of Allah and the experiencing of that assurance with Allah that, the guidance has been used by me, and no amount of money can guide me to peace. It can give you what you might think relief or safety or excitement. No amount of a house or car or anybody or anything in this world is going to give me peace. You get what I mean? You'll get relief, safety, you get excitement, but you'll never get peace. Peace is only from receiving guidance and being aware of what guidance is and accepting the guidance and correcting. Going from superstition to enlightenment, going from the darkness of ignorance and arrogance and entitlement and, denial of God's favors to, from the light, you become aware and you experience at a higher level as a believer. And you live at a higher level, that you express at a higher level of humanity. And you apply yourself at a higher level of humanity. This is because you humble yourself before God. And I recognize when I don't humble myself, and I recognize when I do. You get what I mean? We are guided to humble ourselves. I know what humility is. Humility is when you recognize only God alone really is, and is uniquely powerful and beneficial, that you know any other human beings. A lot of people think humility is about I'm humble, but they think other human beings have power, or they turn to other human beings thinking other human beings are, to do. Let's turn to the guru, let's turn to the pandit, they're to do. No. That is also arrogance. See, I can tell you what humility is, because guidance has guided me. I've been guided through guidance to humility, that only Allah is unique and supreme. Only Allah is for me to actually be in awe of, to be in awe of the greatness, to adore the graciousness, to appreciate the gifting nature, and to accept the gifts. I am aware of Allah, and I am in acceptance of Allah's wonderful nature. When I say Bismillah, it really is. I begin with the awareness of the wonderful nature of Allah. The compassionate nature, the merciful nature. I have Allah, whose compassion is upon me, and you may or may not be aware of that. I have that. It means something to me as a believer. You get what I mean? It's not an idea in my head as a hypocrite got these ideas. So, it's a wonderful thing to actually be humble, and rather than being arrogant. So when we have ideas about God that God doesn't exist, or we have ideas about God that God is a man or a woman or something or somebody, or when we have ideas that of people and things in the world as being like God and we turn to them, the first one was kufr, the second one is mushrik. The third one is, when you have ideas about Allah, the Quran, the Prophet, Islam, but they're not really the truth about Allah, the Prophet, Islam, the Quran, and so on and so forth. You're a hypocrite. You get what I mean? You say you believe, but you only lie to yourself thinking you lie to Allah. You're not really aware of Allah, and you're not really experiencing Allah consciousness. Don't feel bad. All of us start there. After Adam and Eve, and what happened? They failed to remember. They went into a state of amnesia, a trance-like state. And Allah says those who fail to remember, theirs will be a depressed life. So a lot of people are living a depressed life. Don't think, I got a nice house, I got to change my carpets, and I put tiles, and I'm not depressed. If you're not spiritually expressed, you are spiritually depressed. If you're not feeling spiritual well-being, if you're not experiencing the peace of God that's got nothing to do with whether you have a house or not, whether you change your curtains or not, whether you have a new car or not, or whether you have more money or not, if you're not experiencing the peace of God now, that means you're not aware of Allah. For verily in the remembrance of Allah, hearts experience assurance. You're not going to find assurance, when your prayers are answered. You'll be happier then, but you will be assured in the awareness of Allah. So the Quran is guidance and mercy unto mankind, guiding us to higher levels of awareness, higher levels of experiencing of truth, beyond superstition, beyond unawareness, beyond non-experiencing, beyond non-expression. The Quran is guiding us to have a relationship with our Creator, being aware and experiencing spiritual well-being. And the Quran is guiding us to express ourselves and to apply ourselves in life in a way that is amal, that we can express ourselves and apply ourselves as high-functioning human beings, like what the Prophet was. One of, the guides to the examples, and the best of examples to humanity. Prophets and messengers exemplified, truth and how to live with faith, amal, and a life natural. And so, people are unaware of the actual sunnah of the Prophet and what it really means. You see, people have ideas of Allah and they fail to have the awareness and experience of Allah that allows them to feel the spiritual well-being now. That Allah alone is the first and to focus on and feel about. They think they focus on Allah, but they don't know they're focusing on Allah from being worried about themselves and being worried about the world and being worried and being afraid and feeling threatened. They're still in that state of insecurity. Remember, the Quran tells us when the Prophet Adam, peace be upon him, turned to the Creator in remorse. He had regretted what he had done. And Allah said to him, there you and your people will be in a state of insecurity. Guidance will come to humanity. Those who receive the guidance will no longer be in a state of insecurity. So there's a lot of people who are hypocrites. They think they believe in Allah and the last day, but they only lie to themselves. In the heart is a disease, the Quran says, and they're left to stray. They're stray and they're left to stray. The disease is expanded. So there are people who are not only not remembering Allah, and they're not only not bringing to Allah a purified heart, they are actually deep in insecurity. In their hearts is a disease, and they are continuing to expand that disease. They're stray. Shukr to Allah, that's not me. If you're experiencing spiritual well-being, if you're remembering Allah, if you're spiritually expressing, then you know what I'm talking about. If you know what superstition, when you were in the past superstitious and now having all these ideas, but now you're really aware. You're not superstitious, you're aware of truth, you're aware of guidance, why we are here, what's going on here. You are submitting. You stop worshipping Satan and his ideas, the ideas you once had about Allah and the ideas you had about life and what was the purpose of how you were living. You don't live like that anymore. You see, if you've gone through a change in your mentality, and you've really acquired an authentic spirituality, then you know guidance has come to you and you've received it. But if you're still in your first insecure experience of life and you think you got these wonderful ideas about God and you're doing these prayers and so on and so forth, you're only fooling yourself. The Quran tells us in the remembrance of Allah, hearts find assurance. The Quran says when you remember Allah abundantly, yours will be a prosperous life. When you remember Allah, you will be joyful. You'll have, joy, felicity. You will have prosperity. You live happy. Woo! I am. I'm really happy, as you can see, how really I rejoice from where I was to guidance. You can actually see in me, I'm not giving you a talk for what somebody else told me that I think that I should tell you. I am one who was in the darkness, was in the light. I'm one who is awakened where I was asleep. I'm one who has remembered, who had once forgotten. And the answer is through guidance. I received guidance. I valued guidance. The guidance that guided me to have a relationship with Allah before I have a relationship with me, before I have a relationship with my body, my life, before I have a relationship with anybody else in my life. My first relationship is with Allah. And none of us, when we are in the fallen state, in the forgotten state, have a first relationship with Allah, because we are in the trance. We are like more worried about us and our okayness and money and jobs and somebody to take care of us, or we have to take care of other people, or nobody must ever need to take care of us, we must always take care of us. We're so absorbed in a trance thinking that the most important thing is other than guidance. We reduce the Quran to something that is to be just read, and if you read it, you're doing something very good. You know what I mean? In the meantime, the Quran says it's a book of guidance, a healing and a mercy. You understand? To the believers. It heals the diseases in the hearts. The Quran is a message of guiding us beyond the darkness into the light, giving us the good news. People aren't aware of what the good news is. They live like there is no good news. The Quran says about the Quran and about prophets, and including the Prophet ﷺ, they came with glad tidings and a caution. Get what I mean? I've received the glad tidings and the caution. I have nothing to worry about. I am on the path of Iman, I am on the path of Amal, I'm on the path of a life tayyibun. The Quran says if you have faith in your heart and you live honorably, whether you're a man or you're a woman, you will have a tayyibun, a life that is wholesome. I'm having a wholesome experience of life and a blissful return. So if I've got Iman in my heart where there was once no Iman, remember the Quran says, do not say you're a believer, for faith has not entered into your heart. Yes, there was no faith in my heart, but now there is faith in my heart. Through guidance, I was shown the error of my ways, I corrected. I learned to apply myself. I'm applying myself differently. My attitude towards God is different. My attitude towards myself, my body, my life, my afterlife, people in my life. I'm not the same person. You get what I mean? I'm no longer an insecure person. I'm not confused anymore about what I'm doing here. Why is God not helping me? Oh, help me desperately being needy on God. You know what I mean? I am not needy. I have God. I can't be needy. God has given me needs and fulfills my needs. I will never be needy. The favors of God are upon me. The Quran says, which of the favors of your Lord do you deny? I am learning to not deny. I'm learning to accept and appreciate the favors of God. I'm going through a change. I'm not the same person. You see, if you have largely been and largely continue to be who you've always been, that means you have not received guidance. Or if guidance has come to you, you have not accepted it. Because I can tell you, I have a different, I call it a holistic arrangement of self. First is God now. Before God wasn't first. Now I'm centered in my Creator, Almighty Allah. I am centered in Allah. When I get up in the morning, I am centered in Allah. Allah is central in my life. I've returned to Allah. I am turning. The Quran says, turn to Allah, return to Allah. I am one who has turned to Allah or returned to Allah. And I'm not saying that to say I'm better than you or, let me be your guru. I am not interested in anybody else's relationship with their Creator. You get what I mean? I'm only interested in my relationship with my Creator. As long as my relationship with my Creator is improving, I have nothing to worry about. Because Allah says it's for each of us to bring to Allah our own purified hearts. It's not for me to bring to Allah your purified heart. For over 10 years I was arrogant and thought, I'm here to help people and I should help people and people should heed guidance and guidance is for good. I was arrogant. It's only in the last couple of months that I said, you know what? Forget them. Forget them. It's got nothing to do with me. Leave them. Leave the people. It's got to do between them and the Creator. I was getting distracted by Satan, focusing on them and trying to help them. I was, neglecting my own by worrying about other people and trying to control them, thinking I'm their God, thinking I can help them. I wasn't humbling myself. I can't help anybody. Allah is the one who helps us. Other than Allah, we have no helper, the Quran says. I wasn't humble. But Allah was merciful and continued to guide me. And I was prepared to actually become more humble, which I'm more humble now. I'm humble, more than I've been. I'm sure there's more humility for me to express, but I am more humble than where I was. You get what I mean? So I can see this guidance of Allah who's guided me to humility, who's guided me to patience. I can recognize I'm more patient than I've ever been. The Quran says Allah is with those who are practicing patience. And so I'm more patient. There's changes in me with guidance. I've received the guidance, I value the guidance, I am focused on my mission. I know what the mission is, to remember Allah. I am remembering Allah. I am centered in Allah. I am not God-centric. I am not self-centric. I am beyond centricity, like egocentricity or deity worship. I am centered in God. There's only God. And being centered in God, I can be centered in myself and then centered in my life. But first centered in God. I have a relationship with my Creator. I'm no longer scared and afraid and threatened. And no longer am feeling all that. Because I know my Creator. Those of you who know your Creator, you know that your Creator is sufficient, enough, adequate. You know that there's no problem. Get what I mean? So I can see the difference in me in terms of my relationship with my Creator, who I was before and who I am now, what I focused on before. Before, why am I like this? I shouldn't be like this. Why is my life like this? It shouldn't be like this. Why are the people in my life like this? They shouldn't be. Oh no, I'm so worried about me and this world and other people in this world. Now I know Allah is before this world, the Creator of this world. I understand Tawheed. First is Allah. Allah alone, it really is. There's only Allah. And Allah alone is to be focused on. Before me, before my mind and what it thinks, I reflect that Allah has given me a mind. And before my body and what it perceives, Allah has given me a body. Allah is. You see, when you worship Satan, you're more interested in using your mind without faith. And you're more interested in, looking around you and what's going on without faith. When guidance has come, when guidance came to me and guided me to who I am, what I really am, and I accepted what I really am, I think with faith. I experience the world with faith as a believer. And I support greater belief. Allah says He puts tranquility in the hearts of the believers as He expands their faith. So you can assess that, you know what? When I remember Allah, do I feel reassured or do I feel needy, threatened, vulnerable? That in my heart, do I feel a tranquility in my heart? And am I feeling being supported in this Iman expanding? Because if you're not, that means you don't know much about the guidance, because if you did know anything about guidance, you would know that guidance is the most precious thing and what its value is to you, and how it helps us to have the relationship with our Creator first, and how it helps us to have Iman in our hearts through having that relationship with our Creator. And what that actually means to have a relationship with our Creator, not what you think it means. Consider what you thought when you were growing up from the insecure people who taught you about Allah, who had ideas about Allah, but not the people who really were aware of Allah, who felt secure with Allah, who felt assured and reassured, who felt peace. Did the people who taught you about Allah experience peace? Did they look like they had spiritual well-being? Were they patient? Were they peaceful? Were they compassionate? Were they friendly? Were they optimistic? Were they encouraging? Did they really know God? Those who taught you about God. Or did they have ideas about God because they were worshipping religion? There's a lot of religious worship going on in the world. People worship religions, they don't worship Allah. They don't worship the universal Creator. They have these dogmas, these rituals, they have these things that they do, but it's done without any awareness of truth, without having been guided out of the darkness into the light, without any awareness of the value of guidance, taking us beyond superstition into the light, taking us beyond a faithless, diseased heart into a heart that is pure and joyful, a joyful heart. Guidance guides us to spiritual well-being. Guidance guides us to psychological wellness, where we are well psychologically, where we express ourselves as believers with love, with a joyful heart, with a heart that has Iman in it. And we live our lives with a heart that has Iman in it. And we are playing a beneficial role to ourselves, our bodies, our lives. We're receiving the guidance, eat halal and tayyib, not just eat halal and kill that food, make it poisonous and not tayyib. When guidance comes to us, we who value that guidance and receive that guidance experience security. No matter what is going on in the world, when we remember Allah, our hearts experience assurance. We know that it's not about this world is temporary. No matter what is going on in this world, it will cease to be. And we will be in the hereafter forever. We know that. This world is temporary. We don't make the world more important than it is. We definitely don't make the world more important than the creator of the world. We don't get lost in creation and being in denial and dismissal of the creator. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. That if you really had the guidance and you knew the value of guidance, it would take you from spiritual ill-being to spiritual well-being. Peace, salam. You'd experience expansion. You'd experience having Allah. And you'd know Allah is enough for you. No matter who you've been, how you've lived, whatever's going on, you'd know. I'll speak a little bit more about that as we continue. And you would go beyond psychological illness to psychological wellness. You'll express yourself with Iman. You'll apply yourself with Iman. You'll be beneficial to you and other people. You'll play a beneficial role in your life. You see, you are in spiritual ill-being and psychological illness when you don't have the guidance and you don't receive the guidance and you don't apply the guidance. And, you won't value the people, things and experiences in this world that are supportive of natural living. You won't value. When guidance comes to you and you turn your back against it and you don't receive it and you don't release Satan worship, when you don't let go of these, failure to be aware and experience these things that hold you back, these ideas in your head. When you don't surrender, if you continue to be with the ideas that you've lived, the attitudes you've lived, the behaviors that you live, you continue to be the same person, then you won't have this existential attendedness. You won't have this feeling of experiential wealth. You won't feel like I have what I require. I have that which is supportive of me in natural living. I'm enjoying natural life, satisfied in this world. You see, you won't. If you remain a person who's staying the same without guidance, you're not opening up to understand and be more aware, and you're not opening up to experience, you're not opening up to express at a higher level, you're not opening up to apply yourself at a higher level, you're not wanting to learn, grow and develop, you won't really be you won't see what's there, you won't receive it. You won't even know what prayer is. I was saying to people that Allah has already given us potentials and possibilities. It's for us to receive them. Allah has given us people, things and experiences in the world. Whatever you want is already in the world. It's for us to receive it. People don't know that prayer is the receiving, dua is the receiving of what Allah has given you. People think Allah is withheld from them. People think that Allah is not giving them. Allah is keeping it away from them. They don't realize it is given. They are unappreciative. They are the people who are kafuran. And then they say Allah, the Prophet, and this, that, all act, the hypocrisy. They don't know, they don't want to know. They are hypocrites, and their hearts is a disease. I was one of them. I am no longer a hypocrite. I'm a believer. I am one who has submitted, and I submit every day. I draw closer. I'm one who experiences my true identity. I know what I am. I know what I am. I am a blessed and benefited creation of God. I am a favored creation of God. I know what guidance is all about. It's truth. Human beings, we are created as amazing beings, and we are amazing beings. The angels bowed before. Allah gave instruction for people, for the beings that were there, including Satan, Iblis, to recognize, to adore, to be impressed with humanity. But then Iblis had his own ideas and decided to show humanity how to not be God aware. go in a trance, how to not live securely, how to live insecurely, how to not be self-attending and life-tending, how to not apply yourself for your benefit in this world through your death and beyond, how to not respect your body, your life, your afterlife. Satan decided to say, let's show them how to keep them from applying themselves with God, keep them from being believers, because believers apply themselves differently with God. Believers are happy with God first, and they know that their spiritual needs are met. Believers are rejoicing because we have guidance, we know the value of guidance, we know what happened, we know who God is, we know how to connect with our Creator, Almighty Allah, we know how to submit, we into Tawheed, we experience the mercy of Allah, the compassion of Allah. We recognize it's us who's been in error, we see where we've been in error, we correct. We choose to apply ourselves with Allah in a way that benefits us. We choose to apply ourselves with ourselves, our bodies and our lives in a way that benefits us. We choose to apply ourselves with other people so that we can be a benefit of others, with others, and others can be a benefit to us. We choose to live as spiritually secure people, people of light. As a person who I am now, beyond how I lived before. Remember, before I was needy, I was an addict, and I was living, self-depriving, miserable, thinking Allah was withholding from me. But I was just a Satan worshipper like many of you who are listening to this recording. I was there. I'm no longer there. The guidance of Allah did the trick. The guidance, I was interested in guidance. I received the guidance. I didn't think I know, and there's nothing more for me to know. I humbled myself, and I said, what's here for me to see that I'm not seeing, the seeing of which will change everything. I opened up to learn, to grow, to develop, and Allah guided me. So the Quran says, you believe in Allah, He guides your heart. My heart is one guided by Allah. I believe in Allah. And I can see the difference in me. I don't know if you can see the difference in me. I can see the difference in my life. I don't know if you can see the difference in you and the difference in your life. I can see I'm no longer how I was with Allah, operating with Allah as a ignorant, superstitious child. I'm really aware of Allah as an adult, and I'm having a healthy relationship with Allah. I'm aware that Allah has given us the rope. I have the rope. Hold on to the rope. I have the rope, I'm holding on to the rope, but I'm holding on to the rope happily. You get what I mean? Not needily, not desperately. There's no more desperation and neediness in me. Once you realize you have guidance, you have everything. Guidance tells you that you have Allah, and you have Allah, and you have everything. You have nothing to worry about. You have everything to be happy about now. You see, that's how you know you've received guidance. In every moment, you can ask yourself, do I have something to be happy about? And if I answer that question, I'll say yes. I'm happy that guidance has come to me. That I'm here to learn, grow, and develop. That I'm here to stop worshipping Satan and worship Allah. I'm here to go from being insecure, a needy beggar, to experiencing security with Allah as a believer. I'm here to become aware of Allah and humble myself. Yes, and I do that every day. I'm here to become aware of the power of Allah. Yes, every day I admit I would like to become more aware of the power of Allah and experience the power of Allah. Yes, I'm guided to every day recognize the favors of Allah, and every day I'm recognizing the favors of Allah, and I'm choosing to recognize more and more the favors of Allah. Every day I'm recognizing the favoring nature of Allah, and every day I want to become more and more aware of the favoring nature of Allah and rejoice that favoring nature of Allah. Every day I'm choosing to live in acceptance of the favors of Allah. I'm one living in acceptance of Allah and His sufficiency for me. That He created me, He caused me, He continues me, He created me a human being. I'm a human being, I've been given the ability to reason. I have a reason to be happy today. I have a reason to be happy now. Now, some of us will think, but what are our reasons to be unhappy? I'm not the way I want to be. My life is not the way I want it to be. The people in my life is not the way I want it to be. The people in my life are the way I don't want them to be. My life, the world is not the way I want it to be. That's how you know you're worshipping Satan. You don't know Allah first. That before what I think and my thinking, before what I perceive, before my perspectives, is my awareness of Allah who gave me the ability to think. And I want to think from faith. And I want to perceive from faith. I want to first be aware of Allah, and His favor unto me, that I have Allah. And what is His favor? So every day I remind myself, I have every reason to feel good. You know why? Because I'm on the path. Which path? The path where things get better and better for me in this world through my death and beyond. You know why? Because I'm drawing closer to Allah every day. Not that I think I am. Not that I am, doing prayers. But I actually am purifying my heart. I'm actually humble before my Creator. I actually am realizing I have reason to feel good now. I am realizing that it is Satan is the one that threatened me with insecurity, wants me to feel bad. That I am been given the guidance of A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Basically what I'm saying to you is, there's one mission for all human beings, that if you fulfill that mission, you won't have any problems in this world through your death and beyond. There's one priority, prior, means before everything else, is to remember Allah, to bring to Allah a purified heart, to receive the guidance, to recognize the error of our ways, to be remorseful for the error of our ways, to choose to live at a higher level of living, and to sincerely want that in our heart, to repent, and to correct, and to make corrections as best you can. So I'm very grateful. I have a reason to rejoice that I'm a winner, because the Quran speaks about winners and losers. And it describes what it means to be a winner. Those who bring to Allah a purified heart, those who remember Allah, those who remember Allah abundantly, those who experience security, those who are not lost in this world, those who are remembering Allah, Allah remembers them, those who are spiritually expressed rather than spiritually depressed. I feel spiritual well-being. I'm experiencing psychological wellness, and I'm into my experiential wealth, being resource-rich, having the right people, things and experiences in my life that can support me in satisfaction. So what I'm saying to you is, I know that human beings forgot Allah. After Adam and Eve had their encounter with Satan, I know that the Quran says to Adam, after Allah said to Adam in the Quran, as recorded in the Quran, when he repented, that guidance will be sent to humanity. Those who receive the guidance will no longer be insecure. They will be secure. What it means to be secure means mu'min. Their hearts would no longer be diseased, because it's when you forget Allah, you're not aware of Allah, you're not experiencing Allah consciousness, you're not security conscious. That's when your heart is diseased. I can tell you from personal experience that the more I become Allah conscious, the more I become security conscious, my heart is purified. I feel lighter, I feel better, I'm getting more and more guidance of how to live, to see the error of my ways, to correct. I'll never be perfect, neither will you. But the very least is to recognize Allah could have left us in that state of having forgotten. But He didn't. He knows we are insecure. He knows we are, sinning the hell out of this life. He knows that. He knows that. Don't think He doesn't know, what horrible sinners we are. He knows that. But yet Allah is the compassionate and merciful. He said the guidance will come to humanity. He has given guidance to us. The Quran is there. There have been revelations before given to certain peoples. The Quran is given to humanity. The people just want to read it without understanding what they're reading it. They don't see the gem. See? If you can't see the gem that Quran is, if you think there's something more precious than Quran is guidance. Quran guides us to Allah, the absolutely precious. You get what I mean? We don't realize we have what is absolutely precious. A lot of people can't understand what I'm saying because they're so deeply lost in the trance of worshipping Satan. They're so insecure. All they think about is money. As long as I've got money, I'm okay. As long as I've got a job, it's okay. As long as I've got somebody to pay my bills, it's okay. As long as I've got somebody to take care of me, I'm okay. As long as I'm taking care of everybody, I'm okay, they're okay. As long as nobody takes care of me, I'm okay. I wish I could take care of myself. Some people are praying to God, denying that Allah is already taking care of us. He's caused us, He's continued us, He's given us humanity. Allah has given us guidance, showed us the error of our ways that we may correct, not that we must feel shame and guilty, that we may correct, that we can learn to apply ourselves in a way that we could apply ourselves with Allah that we haven't been. That's what I'm doing. That we can apply ourselves with us, our bodies and our lives in a way that we could do, that we're not doing. that we can relate to people and apply ourselves with people and have other people relate to us in a healthy way that we haven't been doing. There's guidance. So Allah could have left us, but Allah is merciful and compassionate. We're grateful that Adam asked for, the Prophet Adam, peace be upon him, asked for, he was repentant and he asked. And Allah said that, guidance will come to you and your people. Those who receive it, they will no longer be insecure. They will no longer have diseased hearts. They will no longer feel threatened and vulnerable. They will remember Allah. They will know that there's no problem. There never has been a problem. They know that there's guidance to go beyond the errors. They will begin to see the errors and correct the errors. They will begin to apply themselves and benefit from that application. They know the rope is given and they will hold on to the rope happily, joyfully. That this is the nature of Allah. Forget everything else. Recognize, if Allah did not give us guidance, where would we be? We would be lost in hell, where many of us are still, and others we know are still going deeper and deeper into horrors. But shukr to me, shukr to Allah for me. I'm happy for me. Shukr to Allah. I was saying, I'm happy for me. I got the guidance. I'm on my way. Things get better and better for me on this path. Why? I'm not superstitious anymore. I'm sensible. I am not ignorant and arrogant. I am humble. I am aware. I am experiencing. I am, applying myself. I am not in dismissal and denial. I am appreciatively accepting what Allah has given. I'm shakuran. I wasn't, but now I am. And I am rejoicing the guidance. I don't say, yeah, we got guidance, so nice. If you knew the value of guidance, you'll be like, woohoo! We don't have to live in darkness, there's the light. We could have been in hell in this world, horrors in this world, hell in the year after. Wow! You see? But most people say they believe in Allah in the last day, but they don't really believe in the afterlife. See, for real believers who believe in Allah, we know that how we live in this world and how we die in this world has consequences for us in the hereafter. And the hereafter is forever. And so the real believers, we actually value guidance, we take the guidance, we don't just live superstitiously, ignorantly, thinking we know Allah, please help me Allah, please help. We receive guidance. We accept, we see the benefit of the guidance. We can see that we can see, and we can see that we are applying the guidance. We can see the benefit of the guidance. And some others can see the benefit of the guidance in us too. Shukr to Allah. We have every reason to rejoice. We have every reason to celebrate. Allah did not turn His back towards us. Even humanity turned our back to Allah. Allah never turned His back. Allah is the compassionate and the merciful. Allah has given us guidance, and Allah forgives us, and all we got to do is recognize the error of our ways. We got to repent, and Allah is the forgiving and the merciful. Allah guides us to even receive His protection while we have been and while we are in darkness. He is here to protect us, progress us, and prosper us. I rejoice. I have Allah to compassionately protect me, caretakingly progress me. He's protected me all this while. He's protecting me now. He's just going to get more and more protection, especially that I'm staying away from these, those people. Got nothing to do with them anymore. And I just feel so much better. Shukr to Allah has guided me. I'm making progress in my life. Making progress in spiritual development, spiritual well-being, psychological development, psychological well-being, interpersonal development, experiential enrichment. All these things are becoming alive. It doesn't exist in the tribe's mentality. In the tribe's mentality, they don't know what I'm talking about because they don't know what guidance is, and they don't know the mercy of God. They don't know the benefit of the guidance. They will not know it as long as they deny the value of guidance, as long as they deny the gem that the Quran is. And it is a testimony to the mercy of Allah upon humanity. Shukr to Allah gave me the ability to reason. Shukr to Allah, I have reason. He guided me to claim refuge with Him from Satan the accursed. I have Allah as a refuge, and I am happy about that. Sufficient is Allah as my refuge. Adequate is Allah as a protector from Satan. I feel good now. I choose spiritual well-being in every moment of every day, night, and while I'm sleeping too. This is my dua, living in this peace of God, 24/7, 365, aware and experiencing. There's nothing to worry about. I have Allah. I am on the path. I'm making the corrections that require to be made, and I'm benefiting myself in this world through my death and beyond with the guidance. I got nothing to worry about. I'm a winner. Shukr to Allah. I have a reason to smile. Even if, somebody's behaving funny with me, I have a reason to smile. Even though, whatever happens, some irritations and frustrations in life, Even though I have irritations and frustrations, I have a reason to be happy, because in the grand scheme of things, I'm on the path, and I'm on a mission, and I'm bringing to Allah a purified heart. I'm going to be smiling even more in this world, through my death and beyond. So I don't make a big deal of the small things of this world. And you know what? When I don't make a big deal of the small things of the world, when I make a big thing of the big thing of the afterworld, the small things of the world, no problems. Things just get better and better for me. Shukr to Allah who has guided me. It's up to you whether you claim refuge with Allah from Satan the accursed. It's up to you whether you choose to value guidance or you choose to value something else in the world more than guidance. I value guidance more than anybody or anything in the world, and guidance guides me to value Allah, the alone absolutely valuable. Sufficient is Allah for me. It's guiding me. I'm happy. I'm joyful. What more? I'm happy with Allah. What must I be happy? Even if I fail myself and others fail me and I fail others, I'm happy Allah will never fail me. My spiritual needs are always met. I'm on a path. I've changed. He's brought me here. He's taking me beyond. Nothing can stop that. Look and see. Shukr to Allah. All praise, glory and thanks is due to Allah Almighty's choicest blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.